Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and welcome to the 8th episode of Intertwined.
On the 24th of June 2020, we officially went through 2 years of marriage. High five! And today we're gonna talk about 3 things that we learned so far.
Point number 1 is to communicate. When we first got married, I expected Fauzan here to be like the heroes in the K-dramas, doing romantic gestures such as opening the car door, giving surprises and gifts, sending cute and caring text messages, taking photos of me, and a lot of other romantic things.
I didn't see any of that in Train to Busan, so I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Sure, you mean that's a thriller movie.
It is still Korean.
Turns out that Fauzan here was not aware of those things. You can imagine there was a lot of manyamal sessions that I had to get him to do these things. But I still didn't tell him, being the ego person that we are. To a point that I realized the only way for him to know is to communicate. And that's what I did. We had a session where I told him certain things that he can do to make me happier and ways that he can improve it. And not to forget that I also told him what are the things that he did right and praised him for it. But this is also vice versa. An example I would give is that there was a point in time where Fauzan was accompanying me to do a lot of errands, which was driving here and there to a point where he told me that he didn't have his alone time. He can imagine it wasn't a pretty good moment between us. Fortunately, there was a book in our room called Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. And there was a chapter called Bouncing Back. And from that chapter, we learned that we should have our alone time. After we learned that, we actually created a plan to manage our together time and alone time. It was a difficult conversation, but that actually helped us move forward in our relationship. So communicating might be difficult, but it is essential to get the relationship moving forward.
Now that the whole world knows that I'm a noob at romance, it's time for point number 2. So point number 2 is everything is shared. So this is one of the things that I kind of expected before marriage, but also did not expect at the same time. So let me explain. Couples share things. We share memories, we share a room, we even share the same plate at a restaurant that we didn't have to order a meal for 2, at least for the first few months before I decided I wasn't exactly full after like a meal for half a person. Couples share those things, but couples actually share more than that. An example that I like to give is families and friends. So when I was single, I was only concerned with my family's and friends' events and gatherings. After I got married, things doubled up. So her friends and her families are now mine too. It came to a point that there was this time that we went to a cafe, and it was a nice cafe. She was there to meet her friends. That was 3 meters away. I had my own table and my own laptop, and for some reason I was doing work for hours while she's there like having fun and laughing with her friends.
That was the most productive time you had.
It wasn't supposed to be a productive time. The second thing that a couple also share after marriage is bedtime. It's kind of funny. When I was single, it doesn't matter what time I go to sleep. If it's 12 or 1 or 2, I could be hanging out with my friends. I could be playing games, I could be drawing, and no one would even care. But after I got married, you're gonna have a curfew because we do go to bed at the same time, at least most of the time. I really didn't expect this. I didn't think about it. I have a curfew. The last thing that I like to share that a couple shares is a mission. As a Muslim couple, I do believe that the main mission or goal for a couple is to actually find Allah's rida, or to enter Jannah together. It might be cheesy and as cringy as it is, it's a fact. If you're a Muslim couple and this is not your main goal as a couple that you share, then what are you doing with your marriage?
The second point was everything is shared. Going on to the third point, not everything is shared. Let me tell you why. Yes, we're married, but we still maintain our own individualities. There are certain goals that we actually want to achieve as an individual. After we got married, there was a lot of things that I wanted to do together, especially exercise, which we did. We jogged together, we hiked together, but after we got more busy with our work and other responsibilities, there was a phase in time where 3 weeks went by without me exercising. I was so attached to the idea that we need to exercise together that I became dependent on Fauzan for me to exercise. After that, I realized that the goal of exercising is to be fit and healthy. Therefore, regardless whether Fauzan is with me or not with me, I need to maintain my own discipline and consistency in exercising.
An example that I'd like to give is when I was on a journey to lose weight. Just around a year ago, some people noticed that I gained weight. I didn't really know if I wanted to believe that till I weighed myself on a scale, and to my surprise or not, I gained a little bit of weight, just around like 5 kg compared to before I got married. So I decided to lose weight. So I was doing caloric deficit and I was tracking what I was eating. Shout out to Yazrin for helping out. Thanks, Yazrin. I wanted Sarah to actually join me in this losing weight journey. As much as I'd like her to be a part of it, she didn't really seem interested. But she does support me in losing weight, and I did. During that time, I was at my heaviest. But after the weight loss, I was actually lighter than before marriage. As a couple, you do have your own interests and your own goals that you don't necessarily have to share. But what you have to do is to actually support your spouse in their goals and their interests.
So to summarize, the first one is to
communicate.
The second one is everything is shared. But the third one, not everything is shared.
I'm pretty sure there are couples out there that's like a lot more experienced than us, and they'll be like laughing at us like, look at these noobs, that's all you're learning in your 2 years of marriage? You should be knowing that before marriage. Anyway, we'd like to know what you guys learned like during your first 2 years of marriage. Please leave your comments in the section down below. I think that's all for now. See you in the next one. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.